What up, though, y'all? It's Chris. Appreciate you connecting with me while I'm about to get back into the gym. I had a little too much today. I gotta burn me some extra calories, so I'm back here at the gym at night. I don't really come here that often at night, and it's a ton of people here. I guess the New Year, New Me people haven't disappeared just yet, because they are very much here. I mean, in full effect. But I'm going to get on into the topic and not waste too much on that. I see the New England Patriots have fired their new coach, Jerod Mayo. For those of you that don't know, this is a guy who apparently the owner handpicked this guy. He's a black guy. The first black head coach in the history of the franchise. And, that really didn't mean a whole lot to me. I don't really do the whole identity politics thing. I'd be like, what are you going to do? Forget what color you are. Forget what color they are. Forget what color everybody is. What are you going to do, man? I don't like the whole equality hire stuff, because it just really doesn't pan out. Now, I'm not saying that that's what he is. It's just, in general, when you hire people based on identity politics instead of on merit qualification, things don't really plan out. So I don't know what went into hiring Jerod Mayo. Obviously, he interviewed well with Robert Kraft, and he believed in him enough to give him the head coaching job. Well, first black head coach in the history of the franchise. Of course, this is going to come up at the opening presser. So that's where we got to go back to. We got to go all the way back to the opening presser, because they ended the season with 4 wins and 13 losses, which was the worst season that they've had since the early 90s. But the opening presser, introducing him, of course, him being the first black head coach, people are asking Robert Kraft about that. And Robert Kraft is like, he doesn't see color. He believes that he picked the best person for the job. Things have been bad for a number of years, and he believed he hired the best coach for the job. And I really liked hearing that. But then when they let Jerod Mayo talk, he goes into saying, oh, he does see color, because if you don't see color, then you can't see racism. And it's like, what? Bro, what are you talking about, man? And he said, and if you don't see racism, you can't understand people. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but overall, he's like, he just started talking about racism and stuff, and understanding people, being able to understand people better and all this. He was doing a lot of talking about stuff that really didn't have anything to do with football. And that, to me, was telling. You have been hired to come behind Bill Belichick. Those are some big shoes to fill. And it just seemed like that's not really your focus. I mean, I really would have expected this guy to be like, man, I am honored to be here. It is a privilege. I know I have big shoes to fill. I'm committed to becoming the best coach I possibly can, and getting to work, getting things started on us winning football games, turning this team into a contender again. I mean, stuff like that. Listen, you guys, maybe I'm kind of spoiled, okay? Because I remember when Dan Campbell got hired, and his opening presser, he was talking about biting kneecaps off. Now, everybody laughed at this, but us here in Detroit, we ate that shit the fuck up. He's talking about biting off a kneecap when he gets knocked down, and you get knocked down again, you bite off another kneecap. We absolutely ate that up, even though the rest of the sports world, was making fun, calling him a meathead and all that sort of stuff. And you skip forward to now, what say you, haters? But anyway, aside from the fact that he said these things, and the Lions today are exactly the team that he described in that opening presser where he was mocked. So I'm kind of spoiled. I'm expecting that sort of thing from him, and I got anything but. And it was just kind of like, So obviously I'm not in the locker room. I don't know what quality of coach that this man was, but just based on his mentality coming in, it's like he wanted to be a social justice warrior when they were trying to hire a head coach. And 4-13, it's easy to believe that dude really wasn't focused on being a head coach perhaps as much as he should have. I'm not saying that he didn't do anything as being a coach. Of course he did, or else they would have got rid of him sooner. But clearly something along the way that they seen. They didn't just decide to fire him after they lost the game the other day, okay? They already knew they were going to do this when they seen that they were having the losing season that they were having. They already knew they were going to do this. They just kind of had to go ahead and ride out the rest of the season, because once you reach a certain point, firing him and finding somebody else isn't going to help. You're still going to have a losing season. So we got to pay this guy. We might as well go ahead and ride him out. But this just goes to show you, man, sometimes people, they just overcomplicate things. You being paid to be a head coach, man, come in and just coach. All this other stuff that you talking about is just silly, man. You talking about racism and understanding each other and all that sort of stuff. And man, nobody care about that right now. We trying to, we want to see some winning football. The Patriots fan base is used to winning. They're not used to these seasons that they've had. And I'm sure, the people who live in that area, the people who, are the biggest fans of that franchise, I am pretty certain that if I wasn't confident in his ability to lead this team to wins after that presser, they most certainly were not either. I just don't know how you could come up behind a guy like Bill Belichick and your mind is on all this other stuff. I mean, it would have been so much pressure on me, and this is just me, I guess, the way I operate. It'd have been so much pressure on me to try to live up as best I could to what my predecessor, just the standard of excellence. I mean, people say, oh, he cheats and all sort of stuff. Whatever. Maybe he is a cheater. I don't know. Okay, yeah, he did some sus things. Okay, we'll go ahead and cop to that. But regardless of the fact, overall, the man was very successful at what he did, cheating, scandal stuff aside. And it just would have been so much pressure on me to try to live up to that, to where all that other stuff he was talking about, that just would have been so far from my mind. I never would have had an opening presser saying some of those things that he was saying. And now we skip forward to now, and he's been let go after a season. And to my understanding, he is trying to claim that it was racially motivated. Now, I don't know, because I haven't actually heard this myself. I just kind of seen it when I was doing a bit of research into, what was going on with him. But he's trying to claim or suggest or, allude to his firing being racially motivated. And that's just really silly, because the guy who hired you said he didn't see race when he hired you. He believed that he was hiring the best person for a job. So to turn around after he said that and allegedly make accusations like that, bro, that's just all the more reason why you didn't need to be there and shouldn't have been hired for that job in the first place, because you on some everlasting victim stuff. Even while being a millionaire, you still on some everlasting victim stuff. And maybe being a head coach just isn't your calling. Maybe you need to be out here one of these blue sky social justice warriors. That might be more cut out for the dude than being a football coach. I don't know. But I wish him well in whatever it is that he does afterwards. His time as being a head coach is probably over. I don't think, just by the way he moved in this situation, I really don't think anybody's going to hire him to be their head coach, at least not in the NFL. Maybe college, but maybe not. Perhaps high school. But his career in the NFL is probably over since he was handed the keys to the kingdom in Foxborough, and he kind of blew it the way that he did. Well, let me go ahead and get in here and get in this gym. I feel this energy drink going ahead and kicking in. I'll holler at y'all later, man. Peace.